Join me today.
I spent a lot of time in the past 3 weeks. I haven't seen you guys for the past 2 weeks, but getting married and going through all these things. The question Michaela and I have been asking ourselves is, are we ready to leave Egypt? My answer is definitely no. And so what am I going to do to get to the point where I'm ready to just boogie at any time? And so I guess I just asked the same question to you guys.
Were the Israelites ready to leave Egypt?
I don't know. It seems like they were when they left.
They
Left anyway, so, it's well prepared to not grumble in the wilderness, because I grumble here when I have all the luxuries of Egypt. So, just the kind of things I've been thinking about. So, I'll play a song now.
Darkness tries to hide and trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And all will see how great. How great is our God? Age to age he stands. Time is in his hands. Beginning and the end. Beginning and the end. God had 3 in 1. Spirit, Father, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God? Sing with me, how our God, and all will see how great is our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Now see how great is our God. Is the name above all names, worthy of all praise, and my heart how great God. He's the name above all names, worthy of all praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God.
Awesome. Shabbat Shalom, guys. You know, it was really, really funny when I started actually reading the list of what, I needed to prepare for it and all those kind of things, what I was actually going to be reading. I actually went to the wrong place and started there. So, God definitely has He knows what He's doing. I obviously don't. And so I actually started going over what you were going over, Phil. And I was going, this is so strange. Why am I starting this out? I don't really understand this. And then I looked down again, and where it said 10:21 through 29, which is the section I'm actually going over, I went to 10:10. No idea why. There again, it was just kind of one of those, it just happened, right?
Yeah.
Well, I started looking at it. I'm not going back over what Phil went over because, that was awesome. Because, he gave me some more pictures to look at. Let alone the poundage. Let's think about the number. If it's in the trillions of pounds, what's the next number after trillion? Zillion? There's quadrillion, tetrillion.
Sextillion.
There you go. We're probably in the sextillions of the numbers. So,
Bigger board.
yeah, we need a lot bigger board. I can't write that many zeros, to be honest with you.
10th power.
Right. I don't even know the 10th power. So anyway, so when I finally got back on track, because once again, that's where I started. And, it was really funny because what stuck out to me when I first started in 10:10 was, by the way, that's not what I'm going over, just letting y'all know. What really caught me when I started really searching out the words for what I was going to say in 10:10, it was the fact that Pharaoh knew what was best. That's what it was really just catching me. It was that Pharaoh knew what was best. He was like, guys, no. You're not going to take all your people. You're not going to take all your stuff. You're going to leave them here. Oh, go. You can't even answer me right now. Just go. Have you ever talked to somebody that they just won't even let you answer? They just got to say their piece. Oh, I got to go. Any of you wives do that to your husbands? Any husbands do that to your wife? Just saying. So anyway, that's what really stuck out to me. And so anyway, I really got back on track. And then I figured out why I went back to 10:10, and I'll hit that in a minute. But where I'm actually going to be reading is Exodus 10:21 through 29. Okay? And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand towards heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither they rose any from their place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, Go ye, serve the Lord, only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, Thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto the Lord our God. Our cattle also shall go with us. There should not a hoof be left behind. For therefore we must take to serve the Lord our God, and we know not with what we have served the Lord until we come thither. Nice speech there. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said unto them, Get thee away from me, take heed to yourselves, see my face no more, for in that day thou shalt see my face, thou shalt die. And Moses said, Thou hast spoken well. I will see thy face again no more. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but darkness that you can feel does not sound pleasant. It's just not pleasant. Any of y'all scared of the dark when you were kids? You don't have to admit it if you are now. I'm just saying, I was scared of the dark when I was a kid, okay? Still a little bit freaked out when it's real dark outside, you know. You gotta get that easy. We have goats, by the way, and we have to go milk late at night. And when she doesn't want to, I get to go do it. And around that corner of the house, we have coyotes. So that's always in the back of my head. There's one just waiting on me at the edge of the house. There's one just waiting on me at the edge of the house.
So you send your wife out there.
That's right. She's got a gun. Come on. I don't ever think of carrying it until I get out there. And I'm like, ooh, this is creepy. You know? It's just kind of how it is. So I wanted to go back to 21. And the Lord said unto Moses. So once again, who's telling Moses? The Lord. Yahweh. Anybody bigger than Yahweh? No. So Yahweh is telling Moses, which he is saying face to face with Moses, mouth to mouth, stretch out thine hand towards heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt. God is saying this to Moses, even darkness which may be felt. Okay. That just creeps me out. Because I've been so scared of the dark, I've cried. I really have. I remember those fears. I had two older sisters that were very mean. And I got locked in a trunk. Okay? One of those chest trunks for hours. I mean, seriously, bawling. I remember this. It's very scarring, you know, to think back on. They always wondered why I was mean to them. But darkness that you can feel, that doesn't even come close to what I, experienced. What I experience is nothing compared to darkness that you can feel. It's such a pitch blackness. I'm dealing with things now that we're talking about, it's encroaching on you. Not only can you not see your hand in front of your face, you feel the thickness of it. It's like smoke. Anybody in here been in a heavy smoke? Smoke-filled room? If you've ever been in a fire, it's that thick, encroaching darkness. And it's not except for the flames, that's all the white you can see. But it's that, you can feel it. So, anyway, I went to darkness. And I looked it up in the Hebrew. It's koshek. Now, let me give you the definition of koshek. C-H-O-S-E-S-H-E-K in the English. And then it's a something, something, something in the Hebrew. Is that right? So the definition that I kept getting was darkness, literally darkness, misery, destruction, death, and sorrow. Those are the definitions of this darkness. It's dark, yes. It's miserable darkness. It's got a destructive property to it. It's very sorrow-filled. And it's even a picture of death. It's actually, absolutely an emotional darkness as well. Now, let me tell you where the first use of koshek is. Genesis 1:2. Anybody remember Genesis 1:2? Yeah. In the beginning was the Word. God. Anybody remember? Come on. Yeah, I'm not going to do it in Hebrew. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. And in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Alright, I'm not going to get into a whole history lesson of what happened between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, but something bad happened, right? In between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2. Now, it was good for God, but for whatever was here before, it wasn't good for it, right? When it says, when it calls it tohu and bohu, chaos, I mean that's not good. You know, it was complete madness. And so anyway, I go back to the Word. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, even darkness which may be felt. It's the same darkness that is what's happened to the earth after the fall of Hasatan. That's dark, guys. Do we have even a concept of that? No, I really don't. I've been locked in a trunk. I know what scared is. But I don't know that kind of darkness. I don't know that kind of separation. I don't know that kind of misery and sorrow. So anyway. Now, let me ask a simple question. Oh, I'm sorry. And then it also took me to Psalms 105:28. The reason for the darkness, it was to keep from rebellion. Okay? That's what Psalm says. Psalms 105:28. It actually gives a reason. It was to keep from rebellion. That's why there's darkness and that thick, black, ooey gooey darkness. Okay? I'm very descriptive today, I'm sorry. Now, kids are generally afraid of the dark, right? Generally. Who parents in here? Everybody raise your hand if you're a parent. I'm not seeing participation here, guys. Come on. There we go. Okay. Kids are generally afraid of the dark, right? All right. Now, they get over it. They grow out of it. You get them over it, whatever the case may be. The Lord works it through them. Why are they afraid of the dark?
They learned it from their parents.
You can't see.
They can see, it's the unimagined.
They're afraid of the unknown.
Okay. Come on, keep going. There's more to this. There's,
They can't walk when they close their eyes and they know what darkness is.
Okay.
Well,
They're afraid of what's in the dark.
it's all about late imagination. That's the fault.
All right. My 2-year-old, he's fearless. I mean, I've seen this kid jump off the countertop into nothing. There's nothing there, nothing underneath him. He just jumps off. It's like, I'm going to see if this works. And it usually doesn't. And he usually cries. But he tries it. He's not afraid of anything, right? He's got that he's just courageous. But then the lights go off at night. And he's in bed, which is safe. We've just tucked him into bed, which is safe. I've checked underneath his bed so he's there's no monsters in the bed. I checked the closet. We've even got a racquetball racket that we use to scare anything out of the way. You know, that's their weapon. They know that. Hangs on the door of their room. But as soon as that light goes off and we walk out the door and we shut it, I hear 2 little boys start crying. Why? Separation.
That's what I was getting at. Thank you, Lynn. It's separation. We talk about death, and death in the Bible is considered that separation from God. Right? This is what Yahweh is showing all of Egypt. This is what it's like to be without God's presence. Now, how long was it dark? Because, they can handle the dark for, 10 minutes and then they pass out because they usually run themselves that tired. It was dark for 3 days.
It said 3 days, it didn't say 3 days, 3 days.
It didn't say that. No, you're absolutely right. Of course, there wasn't a night. There wasn't a day. So it was just 3 days.
So they're going to be a 24-hour period, maybe a 12 hours?
You know what?
6 hours?
I'm going to answer that later. When I actually figure that out. How long was Yeshua in the tomb? 3 days. Okay. For the sake of argument, Miss Mel, how long is a day?
12 hours.
Okay, a day is 12 hours? Okay.
24 hours.
All right, so let's talk about this then. In Alaska, part of the Arctic Circle, do you know that it's day for 6 months? 6 months. There is no actual darkness. 6 months.
The parents don't tell their kids, be home before it gets dark.
That's a good one. Yeah. They use things like be home before the cows come home in Alaska. That ain't happening, right? Yeah.
So yeah, it was probably a 24-hour period.
I'm going to assume. Now, and the reason I'm going to assume that is because it's talking about separation from God. What was Yeshua's purpose of being in the tomb 3 days and 3 nights? Why?
Bring restoration.
To bring restoration. What has Pharaoh gone through now 9 times or 8 times prior to the darkness? Come on, this is open discussion time. Come on.
Destruction.
Signs and wonders so far. I mean, the first one didn't hurt too bad. You got a little thirsty, but it didn't hurt too bad. And then all the fish were dead. Kind of sucked, but it wasn't really that bad. Didn't have any water, that's right, because it was all blood. And it's like, ooh, it's kind of gross, but it didn't hurt, right? I mean, I can't think of it hurting. And then you've got some other ones that were kind of annoying, like the frogs. That would be really annoying. And the fact that there were more than just frogs, that would be kind of terrifying. Then you got the locusts, and we'll get to the locusts here in a second. And then you've got some, nasty little flies that are at you all the time. Who likes the summer flies? No.
Have you ever had fruit flies?
Oh, fruit flies in your kitchen. Oh my gosh. We had an infestation at one point. It was miserable. Can't even walk in there. I get them in my throat. You just cough them up. It's gross. Little protein, but it's gross, all right? So, there's a reason, though, that this one's starting to hurt. Okay, because now we've gotten to some other ones that are starting to really kind of hurt. 70-pound hailstones, that hurt. Yeah. There again, what hurts even worse than that? Two of them, right? I like that. What hurts worse than that is being psychologically played with. How many of us have been scarred? Who in here has a scar on their body? Should be just close to everybody. If not, get out and play more. You'll get some. We quit counting mine. What hurts longer? Emotionally? Emotionally, right?
Yep.
We can't even imagine the suffering Yahweh and Yeshua went through when he was in the tomb. Kimmel. He took on all the sins of the world. We can't imagine that, right? I can't imagine it. But it was a separation that killed him more. That's what hurt. He knew it was going to be painful. He knew that the physical stuff was going to hurt. But he also knew God. So what do you think was hurting him more? Oh God, just take this cup from me.
He didn't want to be separated from the Father.
That's right. Why? Because after you know the love of the Father, how quick are you just to turn it away? So, this sets the stage for the last plague. Pharaoh has been given warning and given warning and given warning. I mean, the cat's dead at this point because that was 9 lives. But now, he speaks of death. You understand? I mean, Pharaoh actually tells Moses, if I see you again, you're dead. And Moses just kind of looks at him, shakes his head. I give you the playwright version of it. And he's just the blocking version. He's just standing there in the corner going, okay, God, you said, but I just don't get it.
Didn't Pharaoh, in a way, kind of place a curse on himself at that point? Because the next time he saw Moses, he died.
Well, all I can say to that, because I don't have any notes on that, because I'm very single-minded here. What I can say to that, though, is this, is that Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart.
Right.
Now, Pharaoh speaks of death. He's been given examples of death. He's seen death at this point, and now it's the actual, here it comes. Okay, so this is setting the stage for that. The darkness speaks to the death and separation and sorrow and misery. Pharaoh doesn't see that the example given him firsthand are all signs and wonders to prevent rebellion. That's what it says. It says this was to prevent rebellion. Whose rebellion? Whose rebellion? Israel. Why? Why are the children of Israel, why did they have to go through the first 3? To know he was serious. Then why do they have to see the rest of the 7? To know he was serious.
And then look at the next 40 years.
And look at the next 40 years. You're right, but that's just it. He was giving them these signs, these examples. He was giving them the sorrow. Because, I don't know about you, but I've got neighbors. We kind of like our neighbors. We live a quarter mile away from them. We don't have to speak to them all the time, but we really kind of like them, okay? If we shoot in their direction, we can let them know beforehand.